I'm officially halfway through this pregnancy. I'm currently 20 weeks, but we haven't done an update in a few weeks, so this video will be updating week 18, 19, and 20. I feel like I've been pregnant for 2 years at this point, like with this one pregnancy, I feel like I've been pregnant 2 years. And I also feel like it's now gone by fast at the same exact time. I feel like that's just kind of how pregnancy feels, you know? I feel like usually the second half goes a lot faster than the first half. I feel like it starts to go fast, and then when you get towards like 36 weeks and like towards like the last month of pregnancy, it like crawls by because you're anticipating for the baby to come, because you're like, oh, okay, I could have a baby in a week, or I could have a baby in like a month. And that like weird time frame makes it feel like time is crawling. Anyway, let's talk about weeks 18, 19, and 20. I'm about to be 21 weeks tomorrow, I think. So we have some stuff to catch up on. I've been so bad about writing in my journal. Haven't done it in like a month. So I was like sitting here trying to think back a couple weeks and think about like what's happened and symptoms and stuff like that. So starting at week 18, that is when things started really getting better. And I've been saying that like week 16 and 17 is when I actually started feeling better, but week 18 is when I actually feel normal. I'm starting to feel normal. My midwife was saying we want to get to a point where you feel normal yet just bigger, you know, normal yet bigger. And I'm like, I don't know if that's ever going to happen for me in this pregnancy. I just feel so awful. But then hitting 18 weeks, that became true. And I'm like, okay, not nauseous at all. I can eat everything. I can cook. I can be around food. I can wake up. I can go to bed, not feeling sick. And it has just been so nice. Like naturally I have like tiredness and stuff, but nothing that feels like it did before. So that's a huge win. And I've said this a million times, this is the same exact timeline that I had with Sage, my first. So week 18 is when we had our very first ultrasound. It's actually, well, I thought it was 17 weeks, 6 days, and then they measured me and all the things, and which can be off a little bit, but it looks like I was 18 weeks exactly on that day. And I wasn't sure if that was too soon to have an ultrasound, but they said it was fine. And anyway, so we went, and it was kind of like a one-off kind of place because my midwife doesn't do the ultrasound. So it was like we went to like a separate place because we have not had any ultrasounds this entire pregnancy. I just decided that I wanted to do things differently this time. I didn't want to do blood work this time. I didn't want to do ultrasounds this time. Like I really am doing things differently, and it's been amazing. And I've really enjoyed the journey so far with those decisions. So, but I did want to do the anatomy scan. I just wanted to make sure everything was okay. And yeah, look at the baby, make sure everything's perfect, and find out the gender. And a lot of people were messaging me being like, you know, you can get blood work early and find out earlier. And I'm like, yes, I know that. I did that with Sage. So we went, we had a really great experience. I did vlog the behind the scenes of the gender reveal. So if you've seen that vlog, you know what I'm talking about. But we went there, they were so nice, and we were in the ultrasound for like over an hour because the baby was moving like crazy. Like we were watching her just do flips, like literally just doing flips. And they were like, oh my gosh, this little baby's active. And it took them so long to be able to get measurements because she was just not cooperating. And I was like, please tell me we're not gonna come here and do all this stuff and then not know the gender, not know if things are fine. But it ended up being fine. The ladies there were so nice and just like made us feel really comfortable and not rushed and took their time. And they're like, we're gonna get it. We'll just be patient for the baby. And they kept trying to find the gender. Had a huge, massive screen in the room so you could see everything so clearly. Like I know really what I'm looking at, but it was nice to have like a huge visual of everything. And so she'd be like, okay, I'm looking for the gender, look up. So Clark and I would just like look up at the ceiling and just like da, 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 da. She's like, don't look. I'm like, I'm not looking, I'm not gonna spoil it. And tried for like an hour, and then finally at the very end, after she did get all the measurements and everything looked really, really good, she was like, okay, let me try to get this one more time for you. And I'm like, okay. So anyway, she ended up getting it. And what we had them do, which I don't want to like draw this out because I already explained this in the vlog, but we had them put the gender in the envelope. We bought one of the cannons there because I sell them there, went home and like didn't look at the envelope or anything. We filmed it, did the video. I was shocked this whole time, guys. I've been saying it's a boy. This entire time. It's so funny. Just because I've been saying that doesn't mean that I'm disappointed that we're not having a boy. People took me as saying I think it's a boy. I was like, oh, you didn't get your boy. I'm like, oh my God, did you see how excited I am to have a girl? Like, I would have been happy literally either way because that's what God chose for us to have in our family. But I was so shocked and so excited, clearly, to have a girl. Like, Sage is gonna have a sister. I have a sister. Really wanted to give her a sister. That was like subconsciously something I was like nervous about. I'm like, am I gonna be able to give her a sister and all the things? And we are. So we are so happy it's a girl. But anyway, I came home, did all that. I did find out that I have a fibroid that's like 4 centimeters, which is not in the way of my cervix. So they said it's not gonna complicate birth or get in the way or whatever. They're really common. Cysts and stuff on your ovaries can come and go, but fibroids are kind of like there. So I'm like, is it fine? She's like, it's actually pretty small compared to what I see usually. They can be up to like a grapefruit size, which is crazy, which you can decide to get removed if you want. Anyway, so I kind of was nervous about having a fibroid in my uterus, but everything seems to be fine. Hopefully that's all good. Anyway, so that was basically week 18 and all the fun stuff. Finding out the gender, finding out baby girl is healthy, and all of that. And then going into week 19, still just feeling good. And because I started feeling so good, Clark and I joined Burn Boot Camp. It's so close to us and it's so convenient. They have childcare, which is like, that should be a standard across the board. That is like the reason I can go. We've actually all been going as a family. I haven't gone by myself yet with Sage because we've been able to go as a family, which is not something we usually do because Clark usually works super late and we just like don't have that time unless it's like a Sunday or Tuesday when he's usually off. And this month something happened with work, so he's able to get off a little bit earlier this month because it's a whole thing. But because he's been getting off a little bit earlier this month, we've been able to go together in the evenings when he gets off work. And Sage, she cries every time she goes into childcare for like a few minutes, and she's fine. She does the same thing at Sunday school. But she loves it, and she talks about going all the time. Then we let her run around the workout mat thing. Like when we're done, we get around, she runs around. So she loves it. We love it. I really enjoy workouts like that. Like obviously, you guys know yoga and Pilates is like my heart. But before that, I was doing HIIT training and like all that kind of stuff before I found yoga and Pilates. So this feels like fun to kind of get back into. It's like a lot of strength training, some HIIT stuff, I guess. It's like circuit training, and I don't know, I just feel so good working out again, moving my body and feeling strong and healthy and like preparing for labor and delivery and just to feel good every day, chasing a toddler. Like I've been so sore from going, and it just feels so good to go. So that is something that's happened that I'm excited to carry into the rest of this pregnancy and hopefully be able to work out up until I have her. I also started really craving candy during week 19. I want all the candy. And I'm not gonna eat like typical candy that's like popular or whatever. I'm gonna find the alternatives, of course, the healthier alternatives. So I've been doing like vegan gummy worms. I've been doing Smart Sweets, actually a lot of Smart Sweets. Some of the Yum Earth candy, like the Giggles or like Skittles, but like healthier. They don't have like the red dyes and all the crap. So I mean, obviously it's not great for you, but it's the better option. And I've been really, really enjoying some candy at night, watching a show. It's been really great. I'm trying to think of other cravings or anything that I've had. Nothing really. I'm just excited to be able to eat again. That just feels so nice. But I do get fuller faster because I'm getting bigger and she's taking up more room and my organs are just being crushed and shifted, and yeah. We also got the baby's crib. I'll pop a little picture in right here. Got the new crib in. It's the Nestig Wave mini crib, which opens up to a bigger crib and then also into a toddler bed. And I'm so obsessed with it. It is so beautiful. It has wheels so you can roll it around. I'm just excited to have the option of like wheeling her around, and then also it just fits so much better than the bigger crib did because Sage has her toddler bed now, because it was a normal size crib and had the regular like square edges or whatever, and this one is circular. It just like takes up less space. They're sharing a room, so it just is going to work so much better. Now moving into week 20, where we're at now, I have had such an urge to nest, and I don't know if it's because it's spring and naturally like spring cleaning is fun and like organizing and getting through stuff. I don't know if it's that or if it's the nesting or maybe it's a little bit of both, but I just want to organize. I want to clean. I want to just get this house to have a system everywhere, to just like get rid of clutter, to get things prepared for the baby. I'm just like really feeling that urge, which is good because it's happening early. If I can get some stuff done now, I'm not gonna feel so much pressure towards the end when she's like about to be here and I feel like there's all this stuff I want to do. I want to be able to really rest the last month. That's kind of ideally what I would like to do. We'll see how I feel. So yeah, I'm happy that I'm feeling this urge now to start cleaning because yeah, I just want to really like slow down leading up to her arrival. Oh, also, and then last week, I got so sick. Yeah, okay, let me talk about this. I got a fever. It was like on a Tuesday, I think. Got a fever. Have I had a fever in years? No. I don't know where that came from. I got something. Obviously, with pregnancy, your immune system is down and you can just like get stuff a lot more. It sucked so bad. It was like some kind of flu that I got, and my thermometer was not working properly, and I couldn't find the one that I like that works really well. Like I couldn't tell what my temperature actually was exactly, and that was scaring me because you have to like be careful during pregnancy. But I was able to take some natural stuff. I use Earthly Wellness. I did like zinc and B12 and stuff from Vimergy, but I was able to get the fever to go down, like get low grade and then go away without taking any over-the-counter medicine or anything like that. One thing I also did was I starved the fever. So when you have a fever, you want to starve it, even with kids. Basically just do fluid. Like you don't want to have any kind of food to feed it. And that really worked. And then when I did start eating, I had fruit and stuff like that, just like really clean, nourishing, hydrating foods and like cucumbers and stuff. And yeah, so the fever went away. I had it probably like 12 hours. So I got it Tuesday night. By Wednesday late morning, I think it went away. But then I had like all the other flu symptoms, so I just felt awful, and Clark could not get off work. Literally could not, or else he would. And I had to take care of Sage the whole next day, like having the flu. It was so awful. Like I get migraines and like that sucks really, really, really bad. And this was just another kind of like level of that because I had a migraine with it. Because anytime I get sick, I usually get a migraine too because I'm either like dehydrated or from like sleeping weird or like just sore. I don't know. It happens at the same time usually. I felt like I was dying. I literally was like, somebody help me. It was so bad. Solo parenting while you're sick or while your kid's sick, like that is just, it was awful. But we got through it. But that kind of turned into, once like the symptoms of that went away, it turned into this like crazy cold, got congestion. I was so mucusy. Like you can probably still hear it. I'm a little bit still, but I feel so much better. So that lasted like almost 2 weeks. So that was not fun. The things that I did actually worked to make it go away and I didn't have to take any medicine. So that was good. We also had our midwife appointment last week. I think it was week 19. And it went really well. We just caught up on stuff, talked about prep for birth, what that kind of looks like. One thing we did talk about was vocalizing any fears. And I'm reading this in the Ina May, is it Ina May or Ina May? I don't know how you say her name. The book. What is the book? The Supernatural Childbirth or something like that? What is that book? I'm listening to the audiobook of that. And she said in that book the same thing that my midwife says as far as speaking a fear, which sometimes you're like, oh, I thought speaking a fear would like bring it into life or like manifest that fear or whatever. But they both said, you know, finding that thing, sometimes you won't find it until we're actually like in labor, but finding the thing that you feel fearful of, I mean, you can even say it before that, so that it kind of like loses its power a little bit and it helps you to progress. Because if you're holding on to this thing that you're fearful of or whatever that may be, it can hinder you from progressing and having the baby. So we sat and we kind of just like talked about that stuff, and I was like, well, a couple things that I guess would be fears of mine is like going into week like 42 and still not having the baby, and kind of what that looks like, and not wanting to be induced and letting my body do its thing and all that. So that's kind of like, we talked about that. And then also just kind of being in labor and just like the mental state of like trusting myself that I can do it and get through it. And I know what I can handle because I've been through a 40-hour labor. That was awful. Oh my gosh. Hi, family.
Oh.
Hi.
That was good. Like 30 plus minutes.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm trying to think if there's anything else that we talked about. We did talk about my mom being there, and if she, like if I go into labor and then I'm like, hey, come, drive up from Florida, like get here. and what that kind of looks like, because she's seen people before waiting on parents to come, or like waiting on their mom to come, and they literally like clench up and like their body, like they won't progress because there's like such a, like labor is such a mental game too, very much so. And just kind of talked about that. So my mom's planning on coming before my due date, but I could have her before, could have her after. It's like one of those things. It's one of those things you just really cannot predict. That's kind of the basic things that we talked about. There's more. I am doing a birth prep class next weekend, which will be a lot of fun. It's like a 5-hour thing with my midwife and another midwife. But yeah, I think that'll be really good to like get my mindset in the right place. And I'm still early yet, like I'm literally halfway, but I think it'll be good to kind of just start building that toolbox for birth. Oh yeah, and then also this week, our gender reveal ended up on the Today Show. We had family members and just random people texting or messaging us being like, you're on the Today Show today, which was so funny. And I ended up getting the link to it because I obviously didn't know and I didn't see it. But I got the link of the clip, like of the segment on the show. So I'll put that below. I linked it in my last video, I think, because I talked about it. But it was just our gender reveal and our reaction and them talking about it for like a second, which was kind of funny. So if you want to see that, I'll put that below. Nala, that's Fluffy. You can't have Fluffy. Snuggle her, but do not chew her up, okay? Let's show you the bump. 20-week bump. I feel like it gets like big and then it gets small again, and then it like gets big and then it like gets small. Anyway, that is where we're at now. 18, 19, 20 week update. Let me know if there's any specific pregnancy videos that you want to see. I don't know, like, I don't know if it's like a what I eat in a day, prepping for baby number 2, nesting. I have some ideas, but what do you guys want to see? Let me know in the comments, and we will see you in the next video for the next update. Goodbye. Bye.